All of the changes in election laws and the additional elections, and to be able to get the appropriate training that they needed to train their election staff and to do it well. And then to have quick response time coming from questions that they had. They specifically mentioned the elections training that there were fantastic email communications that they were getting coming from the clerk's office, and especially dealing with incorporating the new census data and redistricting systems. The treasurer mentioned David Warcella and Donna Vogel, the deputy treasurer. Again, they get excellent communications going out to our municipal treasurers, and that they've started really a major program on working on past due real estate collections, and then really digging in on lottery credits and making sure that they're accurately displayed. So that was the comment that we had from the treasurer. As you know, in the past, we've had a lot of issues dealing with the county zoning. And the towns being under county zoning and then having to deal with the zoning office. We had that audit a few years ago, and they were, the office staff were very, very positive on dealing with Russ Bartlett, on both how Russ deals with them on zoning issues and then how he deals with our residents on zoning issues that come up. And there's nobody that deals with zoning by choice. Everything that you do related to zoning, whether it's dealing with a violation or a petition, is really a challenge. And Russ has provided excellent support. That's changed from what we might have said a few years ago, and we wanted to note that. And then the highway staff said they've always had a good collaboration with the county highway staff. As you know, the road network just is an intersection of county and town roads. And basically they said they work well together with the county staff, and I said as long as that works, keep us out of it, because we can't make it better. So as they interact, it's been very good. And if there'd been negative comments, I've been as quick to pass those on, but I wanted to do that because for the past 6 or 7 years, we've been dealing with tightened budgets across the board. And all of the lean has been trimmed, and all of these offices have been asked to do more with less. And in some cases, like dealing with the elections and the decennial census implementation, a lot more, with quite a bit less. So that appears from our staff interaction to be doing very well. So the issue on the budget is to make sure that those supervisors are getting the resources that they need to keep doing the kind of job that they're doing. Like to switch hats a little bit and sort of follow up as a parent. I have a son who's developmentally disabled and a client of Marquis. You're dealing with scores of providers just in the DD system, not to mention the entire human services system. And as we keep putting more and more and more budget pressure on them and watching waiting lists grow and grow, one of the things that I really want to reinforce, because we can't make all those issues disappear, is that we need to maintain an excellent communication network between the county and the individual human services providers. We need to provide access, especially on the quality assurance side, for the guardians and the clients and the client advocates. Because some places I have nothing but positive things to say about the services that my son receives at Mark. But he receives services from a variety of providers, some of whom are funded by Dane County and some of whom are in the overall healthcare system, and just coordinating all of that. And not everyone is as equally successful with producing a quality product year after year under the budget pressures they've got that Marquise did. So we need to have good communication with the advocates. We need to have access to the quality assurance staff at Dane County where we detect problems with individual providers that can't be resolved by our broker. So my son has a broker. We have periodic team meetings. He's a high needs client. But you need to make sure as we keep trimming or compressing things in tighter and tighter fiscal parameters that we maintain that communication link and access to the quality assurance for providers that underperform or poorly perform. And clients whose needs just need more resources to be met. And I know that those issues come up all the time, but we need to make sure that we keep those communication and quality links available inside the network. And then the final thing is, you know, I'm a commissioner on the Lakes and Watershed Commission, and I just want to, I'm on the budget committee and spent a couple of months working on the budget recommendations, and I want to reinforce the recommendations that the commission approved and passed on to you. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for taking the time. I know you have a lot going on. I think all of your comments point to the need for continued collaboration, cooperation, and communication, because you're right, we're all dealing with such challenging budget situations right now. No one of us can do it on our own. We have to make sure we're being as efficient as possible and working together as much as possible.
And there are a lot of ways to do things well. And if we listen to people, whether it's our staff, or our managers, or our clients, or our collaborators in the region, people come up with things that we never thought of last year. And we just have to remember that and give our managers the flexibility to implement it and be open to those new suggestions.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming. Was there anyone else who came later who would like to speak? This is it for the folks who have registered.
I didn't register, Joe,
Go
but
ahead.
I've got an issue that residents have brought up to me many, many times, and that's public transportation. And I know that there's meetings going on even tonight again to look at bus routes into Sun Prairie. And I find that an important investment in our community if we could have some kind of public transportation that actually functions to get people from Sun Prairie to Madison and Madison back to Sun Prairie, without jeopardizing what we have now, which is, of course, is a taxi service in the community that is somewhat subsidized already. So the issue is now to be able to get that outreach to Madison. And you know, we've had many a conversation with the Madison Metro over the years, and they certainly have improved their services because they're an award-winning service. But I don't know if it's always been the right mix for Sun Prairie. And I know that it's a very specialized group. It's seniors that have given up their vehicles. It's students that would like to get to MATC, or it's employees that want to get to the university or get to the state offices up on off in the square. So what I've seen is the number of people making that trek to Madison is a tremendous number. And I don't know, except for if the county takes the initiative, and I know they have in the past, but it kind of gets to a point that I don't think we're any better off now than we have been in the past. And I really, speaking for those populations I talked about, the senior citizens and the students and again, people that are trying to get to medical appointments in Madison. I just hope there's some money in the budget to not keep studying this thing to death, but actually get it to a point where there is some kind of transportation that is available throughout the day, as opposed to the very limited transportation choices that they have now. And You know, we've studied things like Fitchburg, but again, they have a major employer that's linked with Madison Metro. We've studied cities like Middleton, but of course Middleton is almost bonded at the hip with Madison. So again, the bus routes can go out there. I guess that with our development on the west side, I can appreciate that Madison Metro might start to creep out to our west side, but I really think that our senior concentration is in the downtown area, and to be able to get some kind of a transit that runs from the downtown area of Sun Prairie to Madison, and working with our transit commission at the city level, and working with, it almost has to be a county outlet, because the city, like I say, the Madison Metro thing has stalled so many times, for one reason or another. And I know that, you know, we've looked at private individuals that have tried this in the past, and it just hasn't, I don't know what, if they don't have enough capital to start it up and get to a point of some, you know, positive returns. But again, our community is large enough, it has the dynamics, it has the population, and the non-driving population that really needs some kind of transportation to get into the central city. So I just, again, didn't want to make sure that it didn't go off the radar, and that you are getting good input from the community when we don't have enough spokespeople speaking up for these folks, that indeed would benefit, and it would benefit not only our community, but again, I think that it's giving opportunity to people and in an area that they really can't afford to do it on their own right now. So just my comments about public transportation and trying to find a solution. I always lament that the most popular and the most, what I think most successful public transportation in Dane County is the state vans. The state carpool vans seem to be the most popular, and they got waiting lists, and I don't know why, you know, and you get a dozen people on a you know, in a bus going there, or a van going to Madison. But again, it's only a one-way or a two-way trip. You know, you go in the morning and out, so it's a commuter trip. If there's another mini bus type situation or something else that could work, and I know the county can't just specify something for our community, but again, and I wanted to make sure that it doesn't affect the funding that we're already getting for our subsidized cab system. Again, we got to get that link to, I think, to Madison for, and that's what I've heard loud and clear from our residents. So,
Go ahead, Mary.
I think we're gonna say something.
Well, no, but I'm just wondering, with all the studying that's gone on, has it always been only Madison Metro that can help?
yeah, I don't know, other than private, I don't know what else there is. There are some county minibuses, I'll call them, that do go out in Dane County. But I guess there is where we get in conflict, because we already are getting a subsidized service, and that would be on top of the subsidized service we're already getting. But it doesn't really have the same functionality, because truly, Madison or Sun Prairie Taxi does not really go into Madison. To go to Easttown 3 times a day and try and get people into that transit system from there, it's an all-day venture for most people to try to get to one point. So again, the issue there is, there are some seniors that can't take advantage of some of the county transportation because we have a subsidized taxi.
But there's also people over at Oakwood East that would like to be able to.
No, there's people right here at the Colonial Club, Colonial View, and Angel Park Apartments, and all these senior centers down here that all are looking at.
I'm just adding one.
Yeah.
Oakwood East.
Yeah.
Because they're in between,
Yeah.
and they can't get the Madison Metro, and we don't
Right.
have anything to Sun Prairie, so they can't come to Sun Prairie and they can't go to Madison unless they can get a private ride.
Yeah.